Well, Barb, we know how to use these for sponges, but they also tell me they're edible. What kind of recipe are you going to show us today that we can eat these Luffa Gourds?
Well, I'm going to show you one that combines peaches with the gourds. However, because if you pick them at the small stage when they're 4 to 6 inches long, you can use them like any kind of summer squash. If you have a recipe that's a favorite for zucchini or yellow squash or patty pan or whatever, you can substitute as long as they're small. And you'll know when they've gotten too big because it'll be a lot more difficult to cut them as you go through. This particular one is real easy. It's simply layering 2 of our good summer products. We're going to layer some squash or gourd into a casserole, and I'll let you go ahead and do that. We've got a 2-quart casserole that I've greased a little bit, or sprayed in this case with some vegetable spray. And we've sliced these, probably around a 1/3 to a 1/4 inch thick anywhere. It's not real critical, just like with a lot of casseroles and salads, however you want to do it, or you can get it done between other jobs is fine. Now also in this we're going to layer some peaches or nectarines, either one depending on what you have available, which tree you have or which one is on sale, into our casserole dish. Now, this is about a 2-quart casserole, but because you may have a different size family, you can easily adjust the amounts. Again, like a salad, it would be fairly easy to do. Now go ahead and put another layer of the gourd in.
Well, Barb, many people don't think about interchanging these two together. Is there a purpose in that? Is it just a different flavor, or does it complement each other? Or?
The combining the peaches with the squash, it's a different flavor. It also tends to give you a little bit something sweet. A lot of times we fry squash and these kinds of products, and this way we have a casserole that's baked, so it's a little bit more nutritious, has less fat in it, and it's sweet, so it gives you a different kind of flavor and texture during the meal also.
What kind of main dish would you serve with this?
Because it's a little bit of a combination, I'd probably look for something that's a little bit more plain, but you could go with something like hamburgers, sliced turkey ham, sliced chicken or roast chicken, anything along that line. And this time of year it's still a little bit warm. As we progress into the fall, you'll be wanting to look at things that maybe will warm up your kitchen a little bit, so using the oven won't be as critical. You could also experiment with this just a little bit and pretty easily, I think, come up with a way to do it in the microwave. Okay, that needs to be sprinkled over the top. We've got about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar that we're going to put on. Again, the amounts would be adjusted based on how much you're going to actually use of the other, and to taste a little bit. Now you can also sprinkle salt over the top. And what I like to do, rather than sprinkle salt over it at this point, is wait until I'm eating it and let people put the salt on to the taste that they would like. The margarine we're going to put on has some salt in it, so there will be some there too. Well, we have somewhere between 1½ to 2 tablespoons of margarine, and this is just going to sprinkle over the top to keep it a little bit more moist during the cooking process. Kind of like baking a pie. Very often you'll sprinkle a little margarine or dot a little margarine over it as you do that too.
And how long will we have this in the oven?
This goes in the oven at 350 for anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. But as I said, during the summer it would be real easy to figure out a way to microwave that. Looking at a similar recipe for baked squash, and you should be able to come out.
Well, Barb, why don't you recap that for us one more time?
All right. The original recipe called for 2½ cups of sliced yellow squash or loofah squash, 1 cup of sliced fresh peaches or nectarines, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, salt to taste, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of margarine. You combine in layers in the 2-quart casserole, the squash, and then the peaches, and continue alternating layers until all have been used. Sprinkle with brown sugar and salt and dot with the margarine, and bake it at 350 for 45 minutes to an hour. And you do need to bake it covered.
Okay. Well, Barb, that's a very unusual dish, and again, we want to remind you that you can pick up a recipe at your county extension office if you didn't get that as we recapped it. And also, Barb, we'd like to encourage them to send in some recipes, and recipes for the fall, maybe winter, early spring, that we could use here on the show.
Right, that'd be great. Recipes that use the produce that they've preserved during the summer would be real nice.
And I guess if you use a recipe on the show, you'll be sending them a
jar lifter.
A jar lifter. Okay. Well, Barb, thanks again, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. You can also find more recent videos on our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.